Welcome back, my friend. Tonight, London moves beyond debate and into preparation. The king has left the city, Parliament remains, and ordinary streets begin to change. Militias form, families adjust, and the capital slowly learns how to live with the distant but growing presence of civil war. Settle in, breathe slowly, and let history carry you toward sleep. Subscribe to Deep Sleep Storytelling for more peaceful journeys through history, science, and the mysteries of the sea.
A city arms itself quietly. Rest your head a little deeper into the pillow, my friend. Let the sounds of the room soften. Tonight, London does something it has avoided for as long as possible. It begins to prepare. The king has left the city. Parliament remains. And between absence and presence, London senses the space where conflict might grow. Not yet in flames, not yet in marching lines, but in careful steps taken at dusk. Preparation without panic. London does not erupt into chaos. It rarely does. Instead, the city prepares quietly, the way an old house prepares for winter. Windows are checked, doors secured, supplies counted. Militias form not as armies, but as neighbors. Shopkeepers stand beside apprentices, craftsmen beside clerks. Men who once argued about prices now share watch duty. They do not wear uniforms. They carry familiar tools turned toward unfamiliar purpose. Preparation does not feel heroic, it feels necessary. The sound of training. In open yards and near city walls, drilling begins. Footsteps move in rough rhythm. Voices count slowly. Wooden pikes knock gently against the ground. The sound is not loud, but it is new. Children stop to watch. Dogs tilt their heads. Passers-by slow their pace. London listens to itself changing. This is a city learning a new language, not of words, of readiness. Arms appear in ordinary places. Weapons do not arrive in grand convoys. They appear quietly. A crate unloaded at dawn. A bundle carried through a side street. A locked door opened briefly, then closed again. Muskets, pikes, powder stored carefully in dry rooms. No one displays them openly. There is no celebration. Arms are not symbols here. They are responsibilities. London understands this instinctively. The role of the river. The Thames becomes even more important now. Boats carry supplies between districts. Messages move faster along water than by road. Bridges are watched more carefully. The river has always connected London. Now it protects it. People walk its banks with thoughtful eyes, noting currents and crossings. A city that understands its geography understands its survival. Women and the work of readiness. Preparation is not only carried by men. Women organize quietly, they gather food, they sew bandages, they store candles, they share information. Kitchens become centers of planning, homes become places of coordination. No one calls it leadership, but leadership exists. London survives because everyone participates. The mood in the streets. Despite all this, the streets remain strangely calm. Markets open, church bells ring, children laugh. But laughter is gentler now, conversations shorter. People glance at one another with recognition, a shared understanding that something serious is unfolding. London moves carefully, like a person walking across thin ice. Sermons shift in tone. In churches, sermons grow heavier. Preachers speak of duty, of conscience, of justice, of restraint. They avoid naming sides, or they name them carefully. Congregations listen closely. Faith becomes not only comfort, but guidance. Londoners search for meaning in familiar words, hoping to find direction without division. The City Watch expands. The City Watch increases its presence, not aggressively, but steadily. Lanterns glow longer into the night. Guards stand at key points. Bridges are observed. The watch is made of locals, men known by name. This familiarity matters. Authority feels less threatening when it wears a familiar face. A capital without its king. London begins to understand what it means to be a capital without a monarch. Decisions happen here. Money flows here. Influence gathers here. The absence of the king does not create emptiness. It creates responsibility. Parliament relies on London, and London accepts the role quietly, not with pride, with gravity. Letters from the countryside. Messages arrive from beyond the city. Some towns support Parliament. Some remain loyal to the king. Some hesitate. London reads these letters carefully. The country is dividing. The city senses that its own preparations will soon matter far beyond its walls. Night falls on a changed city. As evening settles, London grows still. Candles flicker in windows. Guards pace slowly. The river reflects moonlight without comment. This is not fear. It is awareness. A city that knows it must be ready. Let this image rest softly in your thoughts. A city preparing without shouting. Neighbors standing side by side. The Thames carrying quiet resolve. Streets calm but alert. London has not chosen violence. It has chosen readiness. Breathe slowly now. Let the city fade gently into sleep. When the streets took a side. Settle a little deeper, my friend. Let the night hold you gently. Tonight, London begins to understand that preparation is no longer abstract. The city itself is choosing how it will stand. The year moves through 1642. Spring light touches rooftops. The river glides on, patient as ever. And yet something quiet but decisive happens in the streets. London takes a side. A choice made without ceremony. There is no announcement, no proclamation nailed to doors, no great gathering in a square. The choice forms naturally. Militias align with Parliament. City leaders coordinate with Westminster. Guilds offer funds and supplies. The watch answers to civic authority rather than royal command. None of this feels dramatic to those living through it. It feels practical. London has always been a city that chooses stability over spectacle. And in this moment, stability appears closer to Parliament than to a distant king. Symbols appear softly. Flags do not wave wildly. Banners are not paraded. Instead, symbols appear in small ways. A ribbon tied to a sleeve. A phrase repeated at a sermon. A sign posted quietly on a door. People recognize these signs and adjust their behavior accordingly. A conversation avoided here. A door opened there. London learns how to read itself. Taverns become listening rooms. Alehouses fill each evening, not with shouting, with listening. Men gather around rough tables. Mugs rest untouched as stories circulate. Who controls which road? Which town declared loyalty? Which family sent a son north or west? Taverns become places of shared awareness. Not planning rooms, not conspiracy halls. Listening rooms. London absorbs information the way stone absorbs heat. Slowly, evenly. Families navigate new boundaries. Inside homes, families learn restraint. A father supports Parliament. A brother leans toward the king. A mother insists on peace at the table. Meals become quieter, words chosen carefully. Love does not disappear, but silence grows in its place. London understands that division does not always arrive as shouting. Sometimes it arrives as the things no longer said. Churches reflect the divide. Sunday mornings feel different now. Congregations watch preachers closely. Every word weighed, every pause interpreted. Some sermons emphasize obedience to authority. Others emphasize responsibility to conscience. Parishioners choose where to sit. Which church to attend? Which messages to carry home? Faith does not split the city entirely, but it sharpens existing lines. London listens not only to scripture, but to tone. The sound of marching at a distance. Occasionally, distant sounds reach the city. Boots on roads beyond the walls, drums far away. The faint echo of movement not meant for London, but near enough to be heard. These sounds do not cause panic. They cause attention. Windows open, heads turn, conversations pause. The city listens carefully, then resumes its rhythm. London has learned patience. Markets continue with awareness. The markets remain busy. vegetables traded, fish weighed, cloth measured. But merchants speak in quieter tones. Prices are discussed carefully, supplies monitored. A city that senses conflict learns to count more precisely. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is assumed. London becomes efficient in a new way. The river carries allegiances. Along the Thames, boats carry more than goods. They carry decisions. Supplies bound for Parliament held areas. Messages sealed tightly. Passengers traveling with purpose rather than curiosity. The river does not choose sides, but it serves the city that does. London understands how to use its geography. A city shaped by water knows how to move power quietly. The absence of celebration. What surprises many is what does not happen. There are no celebrations of loyalty, no cheers for Parliament, no insults hurled at the King. London remains restrained. It understands the cost of triumph too early. Victory before resolution invites regret. So the city waits. Children sense the shift. Children feel it first in tone. Parents speak more softly. Adults pause more often. Games become quieter. Children ask questions and receive careful answers. London shelters its young without lying to them. A difficult balance, handled gently. A capital accepts its role. By mid-1642, London accepts what it has become. Not a battlefield, not a rebel camp, a center, a place where decisions matter, where resources gather, where ideas circulate. The city carries this role with seriousness rather than pride. It has seen too much history to celebrate prematurely. Night over a changed city. As night falls, London rests. Guards watch, candles glow. The river moves steadily. This is not fear, it is readiness. A city that knows which way it leans, even if it hopes not to fall. Hold this image gently, a city choosing without shouting. Streets aligned by necessity rather than passion. Homes adjusting to new boundaries. A capital standing firm, quiet, aware. London has taken a side, not with anger, with intention. Breathe slowly now. Let the city fade into soft darkness. The city learns to live with war. Rest a little deeper now, my friend. Let your body sink gently into the bed. Let the quiet of the night wrap around you like a familiar coat. Tonight we remain with London as it learns something it never wished to learn. How to live while war exists nearby. The year moves further into 1642. The first battles have already taken place far from the city. Names of towns and open fields drift into conversation, carried by messengers, by letters, by rumor, whispered over mugs of ale. London does not see the fighting. No smoke rises from its streets. No walls are breached, but the city feels the war's presence. The way one feels distant thunder rolling across open land. War arrives as absence. In London, war does not arrive with fire or noise. It arrives as absence. Men leave the city quietly. Some depart at dawn while the streets are still dim. Some leave after long conversations held in low voices beside hearth fires. Some slip away without farewell, believing distance will make parting easier. Workshops adjust almost immediately. Tools are redistributed. Hours lengthen. Apprentices take on heavier responsibilities, their hands learning tasks meant for older shoulders. Families rearrange routines without complaint. Meals are planned differently. Chores shift. Silences appear where voices once were. London absorbs these changes the way it has always absorbed hardship, without ceremony, without panic, with a steady acceptance born of long memory. The city has adapted many times before. Now it adapts again. Streets without panic. Despite the news from beyond the city, the streets remain orderly. Markets open on time. Stalls are arranged neatly. Goods arrive by river as they always have. Carts roll over familiar stones, their wheels tracing the same paths worn smooth by centuries of use. This steadiness is not accidental. It is chosen. Londoners understand that panic weakens a city faster than any enemy ever could. So they walk with purpose. They speak calmly. They maintain routine as an act of quiet strength. Normalcy becomes a form of resistance, a way of saying that the city still belongs to itself. Letters replace voices. Communication changes shape. Letters arrive more often now. Some are sealed tightly, wax pressed with careful hands. Some are stained with rain or dust from long roads. Some are written slowly, each word weighed before being set down. People read these letters carefully, sometimes twice, sometimes more. News is absorbed quietly. A victory mentioned without celebration. A retreat noted without despair. Nothing feels final. Nothing feels certain. London learns patience through ink and paper, through waiting, through reading between lines. Churches offer stability. Churches become places of grounding, not rallying halls, not places of command, but places of steadiness. Inside cool stone walls, prayers focus on endurance rather than triumph, on protection rather than conquest, on wisdom rather than certainty. Congregations sit longer in silence after services end. They linger, not wanting to step back into uncertainty too quickly. Faith becomes shelter, a quiet space where fear does not shout and hope does not demand explanation. Trade continues with caution. The river remains busy. London understands something fundamental. Trade is survival. Merchants negotiate carefully now. Routes are adjusted to avoid risk. Cargo is measured precisely. Every shipment is planned with intention. The city becomes strategic without boasting. Quiet calculation replaces confidence. Every crate matters. Every delivery counts. War sharpens attention, even far from the battlefield. Women carry the city forward. With many men away, women step into wider roles across the city. They manage shops and workshops. They oversee accounts. They organize supply networks. They keep households running and businesses alive. This shift happens quietly, without announcement, without debate. London does not pause to question necessity. It acts. Responsibility moves where it is needed, and the city accepts this without ceremony. Children grow older quickly. Children notice the changes in their own way. They help more. They listen more carefully. They ask fewer questions. They learn to read moods before words, to sense when silence is important, to understand that responsibility sometimes arrives early. London does not shield its children entirely, but it does not frighten them either. It teaches steadiness by example, by routine, by calm. The sound of drums at night. Occasionally, military drums echo faintly at the edges of the city, not close enough to alarm, not far enough to ignore. The sound drifts through narrow streets and fades again, like a memory passing through sleep. London listens, then settles back into rest. Even war cannot steal sleep from a city that understands endurance. The weight of waiting. Waiting becomes the city's greatest burden, not knowing what will come next, not knowing when it will end. London learns to carry this weight together. In shared glances between strangers, in unspoken understanding across crowded rooms, in routines maintained despite uncertainty, waiting becomes a skill, practiced quietly, perfected slowly. A city that refuses to break. What defines London in this moment is not courage or fear. It is refusal. Refusal to collapse. Refusal to panic. Refusal to surrender its identity to war. The city remains itself. Busy, layered, human. Let this image settle softly in your mind. A city functioning beneath distant conflict. Streets calm, the river flowing steadily, homes adjusting to new rhythms. London has learned how to live while war exists nearby. Not triumphantly, not dramatically, but quietly. Breathe slowly now. Let the city fade gently into the dark. The city under strain. Settle in gently, my friend. Let your body relax into stillness. Let the night grow deeper around you, softer, quieter, more forgiving. Tonight, London continues forward, steady on the surface, yet carrying the weight of a long and uncertain season. The year moves through 1643 and into 1644. The war continues beyond the city's reach. Battles rise and fall like distant waves breaking far out at sea. London remains standing, its streets intact, its walls unbroken. But the effort of endurance begins to show. This is no longer the sharp tension of beginnings. It is the long middle, the part of history that weighs heaviest. The weight of numbers. London grows more crowded. People arrive from the countryside, seeking safety. Families displaced by fighting. Farmers leaving burned fields behind. Merchants fleeing towns where trade has stalled. Relatives joining relatives, hoping shared walls will feel stronger than empty ones. Homes fill beyond their usual measure. Rooms are shared. Beds are rotated by hour rather than by person. Privacy becomes a memory of quieter times. London does not turn them away. It absorbs them the way it has absorbed newcomers for centuries, with patience, with habit. But absorption takes energy, and the city feels that cost quietly. Food becomes a thoughtful matter. With more mouths to feed and roads growing less reliable, food becomes a matter of careful thought. Markets still function. Stalls still open at dawn, but prices rise slowly, just enough for people to notice. Bread is weighed more carefully. Slices are thinner. Meat appears less often on tables, saved for special days. Simple meals become the norm. Londoners adjust without complaint. They understand that complaining wastes energy better spent on adaptation. Cooking becomes practical. Waste is avoided. Leftovers are planned for. Hunger does not dominate the city, but awareness does. Fortifications change the landscape. The city quietly reshapes itself. Earthworks rise in open fields that once held markets or grazing animals. Ditches are dug carefully, their edges smoothed by daily footsteps. Gates are strengthened, not dramatically, but deliberately. These changes blend into the landscape. Children play near them without fear. Adults walk past them each day and eventually stop noticing them at all. London does not feel like a fortress. It feels like a home, adding locks during uncertain times. Preparation becomes part of the scenery. The sound of work never stops. Work becomes the city's constant companion. Shovels scrape earth in steady rhythm. Carts carry soil through narrow streets. Hammers strike wood from morning until dusk. London becomes a city always at work. Work distracts from fear. It provides purpose. It gives shape to days that might otherwise blur into worry. A busy city does not dwell on uncertainty. It moves through it. The quiet pressure on minds. As the months pass, emotional strain grows. People sleep less deeply. Dreams become heavier. Thoughts circle the same questions again and again. Londoners do not speak openly of exhaustion, but it shows in slower steps along familiar roads, in longer pauses before answering questions, in the way people sit quietly by windows at dusk. The city is tired, not defeated, just tired. And tiredness carries its own weight. The role of charity. Charity becomes essential. Churches organize relief quietly. Bread is shared, blankets distributed. Neighbors check on neighbors without being asked. Guilds support members fallen on hard times, drawing on reserves built for moments like this. Help flows through informal networks, trusted paths shaped by long acquaintance. No proclamations, no banners, no speeches, just hands extended when needed. London survives not through generosity alone, but through habit. Helping has always been part of its rhythm. Information becomes precious. News continues to arrive, but London learns selectivity. Some avoid pamphlets entirely. Others read only trusted voices. Many rely on word of mouth from familiar faces. Too much information feels heavy. Too many rumors exhaust the mind. London learns to ration attention the way it rations food, carefully, intentionally. Not every story needs to be carried. The river bears the burden. The Thames works harder than ever. Supplies move steadily along its surface. Boats travel day and night. Crews labor quietly, muscles moving with practiced rhythm. The river does not complain. It simply carries the weight of a city under strain. People walk its banks for comfort, watching water flow past without hesitation. Movement reassures. Continuity calms. The river reminds London that not everything stops, even in difficult times. Children find new games. Children adapt in their own way, and they turn earthworks into places of play. They invent games about watch duty and messages. They learn the city's new shape instinctively, mapping it through movement and laughter. Their voices rise unexpectedly in quiet places. London notices and draws strength from it. Life continues, even when heavy. A city balances compassion and caution. Not everyone who arrives is trusted. The city becomes cautious. Strangers are watched. Questions are asked gently. Doors are locked at night more often than before. Compassion and caution walk side by side. London learns this balance slowly through experience rather than theory. Trust becomes deliberate, not automatic, but still possible. Time feels different. Days blend together. Without clear beginnings or endings, time stretches. Londoners measure days by tasks rather than dates. By loaves baked, by candles burned, by letters sent and received. This rhythm steadies the mind. Time no longer rushes forward. It moves in circles, predictable and calming. The city endures. What defines London now is endurance. Not dramatic endurance, not heroic endurance. Quiet endurance. The ability to wake each morning and continue. To adapt without panic. To strain without breaking. The city feels older, wiser, heavier, but still itself. Hold this image gently, a city crowded but caring. Streets reshaped by necessity, people tired but steady, the river flowing without pause. London carries strain the way it carries history. With patience, breathe slowly now, let the city fade gently into the night.
And so, my friend, we leave London, carrying the long weight of war. The city has armed itself, chosen parliament, welcomed the displaced, and learned to endure uncertainty without surrendering its rhythm. Markets still open, the Thames still moves, families continue beneath the shadow of distant battles, yet the strain is beginning to show. Streets are more crowded, food is watched carefully, and even sleep feels lighter than before. Rest now, and let the weary city fade into darkness. In Part 3, London will face the final turning of the war, and a kingdom without its king.